a report
about observation
and
Document review.
Observation. One of the most effective data collection techniques for learning about a system. Observation involves a system analyst in becoming an observer of people and activities in order to learn about the system. It is simply collecting facts by observing people at work.
Advantages. Data gathered based on observation can be very reliable. Sometimes observations are conducted to check the validity of data obtained directly from individuals. The system analyst is able to see exactly what is being done. Complex tasks are sometimes difficult to clearly explain in words through observation. The system analyst can identify tasks that have been missed or inaccurately described by other fact-finding techniques. Also, the analyst can obtain data describing the physical environment of the task. Inexpensive compared with other fact-finding techniques, other techniques usually require substantially more employee release time and copying expenses.
For the disadvantages, because people usually feel uncomfortable when being watched, they may unwittingly perform differently when being observed. Very time-consuming. You will not only be observed for a limited time, but also a limited of people and at a limited number of sites. The work being observed may not involve the level of difficulty or volume normally experienced during that time period. Some systems activities may take place at odd times, causing a scheduling inconvenience for the systems analyst. The tasks being observed are subject to various types of interruptions. Some tasks may not always be performed in the manner in which they are observed by the systems analyst. If people have been performing tasks in a manner that violates standard operating procedures, they may temporarily perform their jobs correctly while you are observing them. In other words, people may let you see what they want you to see.
guidelines for observation. Determine the who, what, where, when, why, and how of the observation. Obtain permission to observe from appropriate supervisors or managers. Inform those who will be observed of the purpose of the observation.
Good afternoon, Sir Rui Monica from La Salle University, Manila.
Okay.
So I'll be asking a few questions regarding the enrollment system here in the La Salle College and the Polo.
Okay.
Keep a low profile. Take notes during or immediately following the observation. Review observation notes with appropriate individuals. Don't interrupt individuals at work. Don't focus heavily on trivial activities. And don't make assumptions.
Document review. When studying a system, systems analysts develop a pretty good feel for the system by studying existing documentation, forms, and files. A good analyst always knows to get the facts first from existing documentation rather than from people. Collecting facts from existing documentation. You should attempt to find all written documents about the organizational areas relevant to the systems under redesign. Organizational mission statements, business plans, organization chart, business policy manuals, job descriptions, internal and external correspondence, and reports from prior organizational studies can all provide valuable insight.
Pag fully paid. Pag let's say, ang binayaran nila hanggang prelim, yung prelim part yung ibinibigay.
first document the analyst may wish to seek out is the organizational chart. An organization chart serves to identify individual owners, and users for a project and their reporting relationships. The analyst may also want to trace the history that led to the project.
Another type of useful document is a written work procedure for an individual or group. The procedure describes how a particular job or task is performed, including data and information that are used and created in the process of performing the job. To accomplish this, the analyst should collect and review documents that describe the problem. These include inter-office memoranda, studies, suggestion box notes, customer complaints, and reports that document the problem area, accounting records, performance reviews, work measurement reviews, and other scheduled operating reports, information systems, project requests, past and present.
So the documents also include business functions being studied and designed. These are the company's mission statement and strategic plan, formal objectives for the organization subunits being studied, policy manuals that may place constraints on any proposed system, standard operating procedures or SOPs, job outlines, or task instructions for specific day-to-day operations, completed forms that represent actual transactions at various points in the processing cycle, samples of manual and computerized databases, and sample of manual and computerized screens and reports.
Documentation of previous system studies and designs performed by former systems analysts and consultants may include various types of flowcharts and diagrams, project dictionaries or repositories, design documentation such as inputs, outputs, and databases, program documentation, computer operations manuals, and training materials. Analysts should look for these in the documentation: the symptoms and causes of the problem, what persons in the organization have an understanding of the problem, the business functions that support the present system, the type of data that needs to be collected and reported by the system, things in the documentation that the analyst does not understand and so need to be covered in the interviews.
That's all. Thank you.